This is the fun part of World War III. We get to point and laugh at the takes. That's what you're here for, right? You're all here for the takes. It's all about the takes. Yes.
All right. So MAGA is coping hard in some sectors, and some are rebelling against this turn of events. Here is somebody who is coping pretty hard, claiming this is 17D chess or some shit.
Like the U.S. military just went in and bombed Iran. They went in and bombed 3 nuclear sites. They got in and got out. You know, the stealth bombers. I don't know how they detected the stealth bombers anyways, but the news is talking about it. So Trump said the planes are out and they're on their way back home, and he's ready for peace now. So what just happened, in my firm opinion, is we know the left cabal, deep state of Israel, is on a mission, and Trump took out their mission. Their mission was to make sure that there's no nukes in Iran. Well, Trump said, okay, I'll move in and take out the nuclear sites, and now what? I think it's a bait, because Israel's not going to stop attacking them, and Trump's going to say, why are you still attacking them? I just took out the nuclear sites. Like, what are you doing? And that's going to open up the floodgates on who Israel really is. Mark my words, in the coming days. Watch.
All will be revealed.
Peacemaker.
All lies will be exposed.
Drew them in. What a chess move.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
He's great.
Okay. He didn't do this for Israel. He did it to expose Israel. And Israel, this virulently fascistic apartheid state that defends its existence on the grounds of representing true Western values in a sea of barbarians, is a left cabal. That's a left-wing government you have there in Israel. This prototypically fascist ethno-nationalist state is left. Wow. All right.
Yeah. That was his.
I guess
that
it's
was,
a living.
That was his InfoWars audition tape. Alex Jones was like, this guy's good. Hey, Nick Fuentes, you're fucking fired. Let's get this guy in.
Hey, you know what? I used to like Paul Joseph Watson. He's going soft. He's going soft. I think you can pick up his torch, man.
Yeah.
Buzz Patterson. I don't think many Americans understand what we just did. B-2 bombers took off for 2 30,000-pound bunker buster bombs each. Took off from Kansas City, Missouri. Flew nonstop to Iran. Dropped bombs precisely on target. Flew all the fucking way back to Kansas City. That's 30 hours. Yee-haw! Balls. Big one. That's my Air Force. That's America. We'll find you everywhere, especially the brown ones. He didn't say that last part, but he meant it. Okay, and here's Fox News pumping up. This is kind of working through the MAGA bloodstream. They're really trying to get this to take. The idea that this was all foreshadowed by Top Gun Maverick.
What we're looking at here is we're being told this is, I think, anywhere from just shy of 200 to 300 feet in depth. There are all kind of reports out there of 1,000 foot, but I think that's more propaganda. So what you end up doing is, if you saw the movie, the latest Top Gun movie, eerily enough, this is that plot kind of coming to fruition in real life. It's not just one bomb. It'll be a bomb after a bomb to get through that penetration.
And just lastly, that's what you're talking about. Can penetrate up to 200 feet below the surface. And then, of course, we'll see it try and put the second one in there and go down in there. Yeah. Let's bring in David Burke, our Top Gun and former Top Gun instructor, retired.
Yep, all about the Top Gun. Now, somebody who reinforced this narrative, Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz. I want to know who at Top Gun Maverick knew the future. Now, all of this, when you see all these people saying the same thing, what that tells you with some assurance is these people have handlers of one kind or another that tell them what they want put out there. Now, this is a little surprising from Matt Gaetz, because Matt Gaetz, before they actually did the bombing, he did a whole little video about the fact that Israel actually is the one with the nukes.
If the world is interested in a secret nuclear program in the Middle East, there is a country that won't allow any international inspectors. Israel. Israel has a nuclear weapon. Did you know that? I do. They allow no inspections. They are fully secretive and clandestine about it, and the Americans are fully aware. You know what? I don't even blame Israel for this. If they want to develop a nuclear weapon, if they had the blessing to do so secretly, I'm not in judgment of that. But to drag the world into a regime change war over secret nuclear weapons, when you have secret nuclear weapons, is a bit hypocritical. President Trump is the kind of guy who never gives up on a deal. Throughout his life, he's probably made deals and made lots of money on them, even when others walked away or didn't see value in a transaction. So here's the deal. How about Iran and Israel both give up their secret nuclear weapon programs? If Trump got that deal, he wouldn't only get the Nobel Peace Prize, they'd probably name it the Trump Peace Prize forevermore.
All right, so now you know what's funny about this. So he goes right on. This maybe like 2 days later, approximately, Trump bombs Iran. And here he is, same guy. President Trump basically wants this to be like the Soleimani strike. One and done. No regime change war. Trump the peacemaker. This is the same guy that just did this whole video about how Israel's the ones with the nukes.
Yeah, okay, the ivermectin sales were dog shit on that broadcast. They're like, get the fuck back on message. This shit ain't gonna move itself. Message.
Yeah, we can't move these torches.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Only the military is out until now.
Yeah,
we can't move them. Yeah. Hey. Look, just like in the Democrat. You got your sheepdogs, you'd be like surprised when Bernie would go up there, the millionaires and the billionaires. And then in the next sentence go, my good friend Joe Biden. Or in the next sentence say, you must vote for Hillary Clinton. Yo, man, you got your sheepdogs on the other side too, man. That's what they're there for. They're there to build credibility by attacking the establishment. But then when they need them, they pull that card and they always fall in line. Right? It's just like the squad. When push comes to shove, they'll always fall in line.
Right. Papa Bear. Donald Trump is Papa Bear.
Papa Bear, right. Laura Loomer, she went off quite a bit. There's just one example. I do not want to hear anyone ever again cite Tucker Carlson as a voice of reason. This is a guy who claims he was attacked by a demon in his bed and left bloodied and clawed. He should take his shirt off and show us the scars. Be the first time a man has taken his shirt off in front of me in 20 years. Yeah. I think he's just losing it. And he thinks we are crazy for wanting Iran to not have nukes. Show us the scars, Tucker Carlson, or just shut the fuck up. Now, look, to his credit, Tucker read this and he responded with some images from his security feed. You can see very, very, very clearly a demon outside his house.
Did you find that somewhere or is that Grok or something?
No, that is from Tucker Carlson's security feed.
Yeah, right.
Apparently, this is the demon. So, Tucker, I would say point Tucker. Hey, man, he produced the evidence.
So, seriously, I'm curious. Did you find that or is that Grok? Did you make that?
I made it.
Yeah,
I think this happened.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I believe this happened.
Yeah.
I identify as someone who believes this.
Yeah,
happened.
I identify as someone who believes it.
Yes. No, it is AI. They can do amazing things.
Wow, that's pretty great. That's pretty wild.
Right?
Yeah, that's cool. Really looks like him.
Yeah, man. No, I asked for, fat man in a red devil suit.
Mm-hmm.
And then I took that picture and then I went to a face swap program and it put the face on.
Oh, wow. That's cool. Wow.
Yep. Incredible what they can do now.
Yeah.
Wait until I actually learn to.
Yeah.
Yes, true. That is what we did here. This is a recreation.
Recreation of a real event.
Yeah. Fuck you, I'm the devil. Roll over. Okay. All right. This is going off the rails here. Megan McCain. Okay, so this shows you how little morals these people have at their core. Megan McCain. Trump really doesn't give two shits what Tucker Carlson thinks. Isn't this the guy that said he preferred soldiers that didn't get captured about your tortured POW father?
Right.
Wow. What? You're talking, look, most of us here watching the show, doing the show, we don't have money. She's got go fuck yourself money for the rest of her life, man.
Right.
She's an heiress. She's rich. Why would you degrade yourself like this? For what? For what? It's not like you need to do that so that your kids can eat, right? A lot of people have to do degrading shit so that they can support their family. Why would you do that? Why would you throw your dad under the bus like that? How can you kiss the ass of the man who said that about your father? Wow.
Right.
Wow. What a piece of garbage, man.
Then again, her father really wanted this war, and he gave it to him. So,
well, that's true. She might feel that it evens out now.
Right.
All is forgiven now. Charlie Kirk. Iran gave President Trump no choice. For a decade, he has been adamant that Iran will never get a nuclear weapon. Iran decided to forego diplomacy in pursuit of a bomb. This is a surgical strike operated perfectly. President Trump acted with prudence and decisiveness. Now watch what he does next. Watch what he does next. Stay armed. Stay vigilant. We have no idea how many sleeper cells are inside the United States. It's an unforgivable weakness Biden left this country with. Stay alert. Pray. You see what they're doing there? See what they're doing there? They've got to tie it all into immigration. That polls best for them, and try to make everything about that. It's just like George Bush. After a while, I think it was Giuliani who actually said this about Bush, that everything he said was a noun, a verb, and 9/11. Right. It's true. Like he could be cutting a ribbon at a supermarket. He'd go, you see, that's like the terrorists.
Yeah,
they
right.
hate our freedom.
Exactly. Yeah.
Didn't matter what it was. Whatever it is, they're going to tie it back to immigration and Biden and open borders and culture war. Case in point, Nancy Mace just texted POTUS to congratulate him. Greatest president in American history. I'm speechless. He's done what no one else could ever do. And what's her next thing? What's her next point? I really hope those bunker buster bombs were paid for using taxpayer dollars originally meant for DEI programs. See, that's what I said after I went to the douchebag dialogues, and I'm a little embarrassed. It took that to open my eyes, but open my eyes it did.
She should be aware Iran has very strict laws against, LGBT activity.
They do. She should go there. She'd probably be pretty happy there.
Yeah,
she'd like it there. Yeah, this is what the anti-woke thing is for. This is what it's for, right? That's it. It's so that at moments like this, they can try to make the possible obliteration of the human race a culture war issue.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
All right. It's all about DEI.
Right.
Even World War III is about DEI.
Right.
So here's
about DIE.
DEI. Right. So here's Steve Bannon, who again, he's another one. In the end, he's not gonna alienate the Trumpies. He just went and had lunch with Donald Trump.
Right.
He's another one who's gonna sheepdog you back in by pretending to be an outsider. Just like Bernie. These people are all like Bernie on the other side. They're going to talk a good game, and when the chips are down, that's what they're there for. Somebody gives them a call, and then they use the credibility that they built up with people who might be inclined to rebel, and they sheepdog them back in.
The president's got to, make the address. I also think he's got to talk to MAGA. There are a lot of MAGA that are not happy about this. I'll just be blunt. We can tell this in the chats right now. There are a lot of the chats that are just saying, hey, I hear you, but, you promised you wouldn't do this. I hear your thing, and maybe they didn't negotiate. So I do think, as I said, I believe he will get MAGA on board, all of it, but he's got to explain exactly and go through this. And remember, I said today, the party is on, using that World War II phrase, who's going to host it? And early in the evening, we were hoping and working with people and saying, hey, maybe Israel is going to step up here. I think a big question is going to be why Israel did not take the lead and do this. Because right now, this is back to the United States. And I understand maybe we could get Fordo, but I think that's got to be explained. Israel did not finish what they started. That's the bottom line. And I'm telling you, a lot of people I know that are Israel supporters are going to say, why are we doing the heavy lift here? And why are we engaging in combat operations in a war that's a war of choice?
Mm-hmm. All right. So you see how he's shifting the goalposts of the conversation. He's massaging you into seeing this as something that had to happen. But, you know, a lot of people are going to have questions about why we had to be involved, and they have to explain that. You see, he's opening that door. It's explainable, but Trump just has to communicate, right? That's his job. That's what he does. That's why he has a platform. That's why you don't see Trump sending out truths about sloppy Steve and how he's not MAGA, because he does his job when they need him to. That's his job. Sheepdog you back into the Trump Republican Party. Some people ain't having it. Jake Shields, as Americans, how long will we tolerate this? At what point do we say enough is enough? And that is over the infamous picture of Trump pulling out the chair for Netanyahu. Ian Carroll. So do I just send my tax return to Tel Aviv next year? Not sure exactly how we do taxes in Israel. Do we get health care now at least? Tim Pool. This is a funny guy to jump out in front of this parade. Gas prices about to skyrocket. U.S. will deploy to secure the strait. Iran will strike U.S. personnel and assets. U.S. will evade. This is over the news that Iran's parliament voted to close off the Strait of Hormuz. Now, nobody should be too surprised that Tim Pool is kind of, malleable morally, but I think it's pretty obvious who Tim works for in the end. This is a pretty infamous clip where he just had an absolute meltdown when they started talking about the Israeli strike on the USS Liberty.
Concerned with having American aircraft carriers over there. Like what I keep being told about the USS Liberty. That's something with the Israeli government.
No, you should.
No. Wait. You should be careful about that.
Allegedly, the Israeli Air Force jet fighter aircraft.
I mean, they did end up paying out the American government.
So I'm concerned, like false flag operation, like a missile comes out of Gaza and hits one of our aircraft carriers, but it was actually an Israeli missile. Well, I don't want. We should get out of there.
It doesn't. But let me stop you there. It doesn't matter where the missile comes from.
That's weird, huh? Holy shit.
Now that is a man who's been bought, compromised, or both, right? So when you see him jumping out in front of the parade, it's very much like Steve Bannon. They're going to use him later when they need him. Now he's going to try to establish some plausibility as an anti-war voice so he can sheepdog you later. Obviously, that clip makes absolutely no sense in any context other than Israel owns Tim Pool's ass for one reason or another, one way or another. Nick Fuentes tweeted out, this is a few months back, when he got caught meeting with Netanyahu with Dave Rubin. Tim Pool met with Netanyahu yesterday and complained about anti-Israel, anti-Semitic content, which he blamed on Qatar. This is Dave Rubin at that meeting, but Tim Pool thought he was going to be able to keep this under the radar incognito. He complained later on his show that it was supposed to be
Chatham House.
Chatham House rules. This wasn't supposed to come out. So he's not in the picture, but this was the same meeting that Tim Pool was at. Dave Rubin, no surprise there. At least he's open about his make Israel first, putting Israel first. Imagine being American and being upset right now. Sad. Okay, Dave. Why'd you go live there, man? I don't understand all these motherfuckers. I said this too. I actually know an Israeli who lives here. I said, "Why, man? You're from there. Why don't you go back there? You don't want to go back there? Then shut the fuck up. Shut up. Go enlist, man. Go enlist. You want to stay here and talk this shit?
Right.
Megyn Kelly. They'll take Dave. They'll take Dave. Don't you remember? They're all LGBTQ, LMNOP friendly over there, right? Right? They got all the Michael Rappaport. Yo, you can shoot a guy up the fucking ass in an alleyway. Only place in the Middle East you can have a triple-sided dildo here. Nobody cares. Go over there, Dave. They'll love you over there. Megyn Kelly. God bless the United States of America and her courageous men and women in uniform who risk their lives to do the impossible. We pray for them now and for our commander-in-chief. Who buys this shit anymore? You know, it's funny. It's like when you watch old propaganda movies and it's so obvious we're just not those people anymore, right? We just, yes, and here are our brave soldiers marching to the front. And you watch it now, it's laughable. That's kind of how this feels now. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I mean. This is not 2003. We're not those people anymore.
Yeah,
you
no,
read
it's
this,
very
it's
bizarre.
like absurd. It's like, who buys this language anymore?
Yeah.
Well, Roseanne does. This is what I voted for. You know, it reminds me of the old Dennis Leary bit. You know, the people the rock stars that you want to live, they die, and the ones you want to die never would.
Yeah.
Roseanne Barr is one of those celebrities. I can't believe a cholesterol clog has not gotten this woman yet. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Every time America is on the verge of greatness, we get involved in another foreign war. Were we on the verge of greatness?
Yeah, we were just right there.
It was just right around the corner.
God damn it.
There would not be bombs falling on the people of Israel if Netanyahu had not dropped bombs on the people of Iran first. Well, fair enough. She's right about that. Israel is a nuclear-armed nation. This is not our fight. Peace is the answer. Better than 99% of what you're hearing coming out of the Democrats. Rosy picture of the potentialities of the Trump administration notwithstanding. Richard Spencer stole Keaton's joke.
Stole my joke.
Well, at least transsexuals can no longer play girls volleyball.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's a plus. That's a plus. And finally, Constantine Cassine with his very reliable, insightful wisdom. I am incredibly grateful that President Trump didn't listen to warmongers like Tucker Carlson, who wanted to nuke Iran in retaliation for trying to assassinate him, and we got a surgical strike on nuclear facilities instead. Blessed are the peacemakers. Yo, man, you got to have fucking balls like coconuts to write that tweet. Wow, no, he was actually making peace. He was actually showing restraint. What a piece of garbage that guy is. So, yeah, man, MAGA is shambolic. MAGA is in shambles now. It's torn apart. And, hey, man, I know we always, whenever we talk about stuff like this, you get people who are like, I'm MAGA and I'm disgusted. I know you're out. We know you're out there.
Yeah,
we know you're out there. And good for you. And raise your voice. And we showed there are some people in that movement that are speaking out. And good for them. But when I say shambolic, it's clearly this is going to create a civil war within that movement. And that's why I say for us who are populists, who are in favor of people-powered movements, there's an opportunity here. Because the MAGA people who are not going to go along with the cult of personality, those are people we should open a conversation with. And then when you see the ones who go along with this, that's when you're going to know who's getting paid. Who's getting paid, who's an agent, who's a plant, who's an op. Yeah, man, you could get some people who are this stupid, like the freaking Busby Berkeley fucking lieutenant guy who was, praising the bombers. I think that guy really means it. I don't think you got to give that guy $1 to say that shit. But 99% of these podcasters and Xer online personalities on X, yeah, man, they're ops, man. They get marching orders. They get told what to do. This broke a couple months ago, where it was a rare window into what really goes on, where all of these influencers were just given $1,000 to promote sugar and soft drinks as a freedom issue. They didn't even ask any questions. They just did it.
Right.
So that tells you how easy it is to buy most of these people. And the people with bigger platforms, I'm sure they get more than $1,000 to promote World War III.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a completely done. I mean, the movement is completely over. And the only question is, at what point do people like Marjorie Taylor Greene have to start incorporating Donald Trump into their list of people to blame for this? Because it's just not going to be tenable much longer without calling him out by name. And what you're going to be left with in Trump's coalition is a group of people like Constantine, like Dave Rubin, like Megyn Kelly, like Meghan McCain, like Roseanne Barr. That's not a majority coalition. That's not a winning coalition. They need the anti-war element of their base in order to constitute a majority coalition. That's key. That's indispensable. You're basically just going to be left with a Daily Wire audience that likes to, slur people.
Right. Well, that's what I said after I went.
Like a politically incorrect. Somebody said it earlier. They said they're basically just politically incorrect Bush voters. That's going to be your coalition at the end of the day. Yeah.
Well, that's what I said after I went to the Dissident Dialogues, which was kind of like fronted by Trigonometry, but like Winston Marshall and this guy Desch, I can't remember his last name, were like kind of the money behind it, but they were the face of it. Yeah, that's what I said. I said these are just basically old Bush neocons with a tech bro paint job.
Yep, that's it. And that's all it's going to be. And that's not a winning coalition. You cannot win elections with that group. That group is a dinosaur. I mean, they are becoming more and more irrelevant by the day. And that's who Donald Trump has thrown in with. The Mark Levin, Constantine Cassine, basically the neocons.
Right.
So yeah, it's
they're the
done.
anti-woke
The damage
neocons.
is done. Yes, the anti-woke neocons. The damage is done. They're not going to be able to piece this back together, and that's good. That's a good thing.
Please clap.